I think Steven Spielberg is one of the best directors out there because he's done a lot of classics, and more importantly, he's done classics in a lot of different genres, in very different genres. Because on the one hand, he's done a good amount actually of classic sci-fi films. Because this is the guy who directed Hook, Hook, E.T., Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Jurassic Park, and Minority Report, which came out in the early 2000s. Now, even when you compare these movies, they're different from each other because Hook is in the Peter Pan franchise. It's a different take on Peter Pan, a what if exploration about this character. Minority Report is a sci fi movie based on a short story from Philip K. Dick that deals with the ability to see into the future. And then Jurassic Park, classic sci fi movie about dinosaurs. That's a cautionary tale about the dangers of hubris, arrogance, and a desire to play God. E.T. and Close Encounters of the Third Kind are both classic sci-fi movies with an alien in them. The difference that Close Encounters of the Third Kind is a bit slower paced, whereas E.T. is not as slow paced. But then Spielberg also directed Schindler's List, classic Holocaust drama. Then he also did Jaws, a classic R-rated shark film. Also Indiana Jones, classic straight foot classic traditional adventure, which set the template for adventure films. That all adventure films which came out after Indiana Jones have taken inspiration from. Also, if you include films that came out a little more recently, Spielberg also directed War of the Worlds in the early 2000s, though I personally wouldn't say that that one's necessarily a classic. It's based on the story War of the Worlds from H.G. Wells. And those are some of the big examples right there of classic movies that Spielberg directed. Well, you could also maybe include The Color Purple, which came out in 1985, epic coming of age period drama. Also, he did do Empire of the Sun in 1987, epic coming of age war film. And then, let's see, he also in 1979 made a movie called 1941, which is a war comedy. That one I'm not familiar with. Similar to how actually I'm not familiar with The Color Purple or Empire of the Sun. I also did your Duel in 1971, which is action thriller television movie. Okay, that explains why I'm not familiar with it, because television movie, so not as well known it seems like. Then he did Sugarland Express in 1974, crime drama. That's not a genre I'm as familiar with. That was actually the first time Spielberg collaborated with the legendary composer John Williams, who's composed almost all of Spielberg's movies. So I think Spielberg, it really stands out as a director.